What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host with the most, Mr. What He Gonna Do Next, Rain Rockstar, and this is Spotlight Podcast. So you see me, you see the headphones, see what we got going on, but what we got today, my guest today is, man, where do I begin? He's an actor, he's a model, he's done commercials, he's done film, he's done minor roles, reboots. I mean, his profile is long. I actually had the opportunity of meeting him on set of a IRM film, and he's a good brother. He's a good dude. He's into supporting black businesses and as well as black excellence. And he's out of Dallas, Texas. And what we about to do, we about to bring him to the stage and have a seat with us at the coffee table. And we're gonna talk about his upbringings as well as his journey and everything he's learned and see what kind of nuggets we can pick on. And y'all can learn some things as well as check out the movies he's been in and about to be in. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Tyrone Betters. What's up, my guy?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me. I'm so grateful to be on Spotlight Podcast, and I'm glad that we was able to interact and meet at the IRM Films, Film Hub Friday, and everything else is falling in place, man.
I appreciate it, man. One thing I'm gonna say, starting off, man, you're a very humble guy because as you travel and meet people, the more and more they add to their resume, sometimes their ego get a little bit bigger, sometimes their head. But you was just like, didn't nobody know what all you have accomplished thus far, and I want to say congratulations on your success too.
Thank you.
Cause you were just cool, and I'm like, do you act? You're like, yeah, like just it was cool. Let's start off back in the day. Born and raised in Dallas.
Yes, sir. All
What
around
part?
the Metroplex, really. So, I'm born at Charleston Methodist, right on Wheatland. And I grew up between there and DeSoto. My grandparents was in DeSoto. And yeah, I pretty much grew up around that whole Metroplex in that area. Migrated to Grapevine for a little bit, but I ended up being living in Mansfield, Arlington area from 5th grade all the way to the 11th grade till I moved to Atlanta. But growing up, man, I can say that I've always been like an energetic guy. Like I've always been into dancing since I was a kid. I always been into just doing stuff, but I never knew I would be getting into acting. My parents tried to get into it when I was a teenager, but I wasn't trying to hear that. No, I didn't know anybody that was doing it at that time. I was not feeling it. I'm trying to play basketball and just doing everything else but being in entertainment. But I definitely learned a lot along the way. I've come from a place where I had a 2-parent household, and I've also seen, the single mother lifestyle. So my dad and my mom had me when they was in high school, and my dad ended up being with his college sweetheart. So I've been in that household, and I've just seen both dynamics, and it definitely shaped me in the way that I think. Of course, I'm the eldest, so I have 3 sisters on my mom's side, and I have a brother and sister on my dad's side. And just learning to be the oldest, learning to at a young age as I continuously grow older. And it just shaped me, bro. I'm a Friendship West baby. So I grew up in the Friendship West Baptist Church area. And just grew a lot. And I really had to grow into myself, man. Like I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. Even at a young age, I could definitely tell. I didn't have a lot of self-confidence in myself. Not until I really got a little bit older when I started getting into college. And that's when I really finding my voice.
Okay. So when you were growing up, entertainment wasn't on your mind. So what was on your mind? What did you want to be before
Man, I went to basketball.
entertainment?
I still remember this to this day. I was in middle school and I said I want to get a full ride scholarship to Duke, and I want to be a lawyer and I want to be a basketball player. I ain't know nothing about being a lawyer, but I always wanted to be a basketball player. I just love basketball, but who don't? You know what I'm saying? When you're a kid and you always playing the sport and you always around it. I don't think I just didn't have the work ethic to put in. I'm not gonna say that it couldn't happen. What I will say is my work ethic didn't match my dream. You know what I mean? And learning that as a youngin and going through high school, riding the pine, playing, being on the squad, but I wasn't getting no playing time like that. You know what I mean? But I didn't put the work in either. So I didn't maximize my potential or put myself in a position to be successful because I didn't put that work in. So I think for the longest, I just always wanted to try something. When basketball didn't work, I wanted to be a dancer. And I kind of just was finding myself for the longest. This is from high school all the way up until my freshman year of college. And what's so funny, me getting into modeling, it was on accident, bro. Like I was going to go try out for a dance troupe, but I missed it by a day. So instead of going to the dance troupe, when I went to this the room it was supposed to be at, they was auditioning for a fashion show. And I was like, whatever, I ain't doing nothing. So I paid my $5, printed off some pictures, gave it to them, walked the runway. I was trash, but I ended up making it as one of the models. And we was practicing man. When I tell you we was practicing like 4 days out the week, after classes, and I just kind of just found my rhythm. And then I saw myself start practicing in the mirror. And then I just remember one day I went to Walmart, and I had to buy some like underwear and stuff, and I just looked on the front of it and I was like, I can do this. This ain't nothing. And so then from there day forward, I just said, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. And I ain't looked back since fall 2008.
Okay. So you want to be a dancer. Let's be honest. Who was you looking at dancing that you was like, you know what, I like his or her moves?
What's that? Oh, eight. Definitely Chris Brown.
Okay.
Chris Brown, I think at that time, well, a lot of people don't realize Genuine actually had a way where he would just be dancing his tail off. And I really got inspired by Genuine, even though he got his move from Michael Jackson. Don't get me wrong, but he always did his thing. I ain't really started seeing Michael till I got a little older, or could understand who he was until I was a little bit older as a kid. Genuine, Chris Brown, and Usher. I'm gonna say Usher as well. Usher kind of motivated that thing. So that's when I really wanted to get into dancing, and that's what was the motivation. But as soon as I got on that runway and I started practicing, I dropped all of that stuff. And so yeah, it took a long time for my family to get the whole modeling thing. They figured it was just doing something to be doing something. You know what I mean? Like I said, I wanted to be a basketball player. Then basketball player turned to a dancer, and then dance, just going to college and doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was following pretty much my dad plan, which was a great plan, getting my business degree, but I truly didn't know what I wanted to do for myself. Honestly, I was just kind of finding myself at that time. And then when I found modeling, it kind of like it just fit. It fit for me, and I've been doing it ever since.
And that's how it should be, man. Look, I've been down that road, man, where you try different things, and when you get something they like, here we go again, and let's see how long we do this.
Yup, it be like that, you know, and it's so crazy that now I'm not too far. I'm like 2 or 3 years away from being 20 years in it. You know what I mean? And I still had that same passion, that same flair, and I've done some amazing things over that time span. But I feel like I still have not reached the pinnacle of what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? And sometimes it just feels like, dang, like when is this gonna happen? Like I feel like God called it on me. I tried to quit multiple times, but in the time span of me stopping and quitting, my mind was always on it. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop thinking about being in front of the camera. I couldn't stop thinking about being on set. I couldn't stop doing this thing. So I was just like, well, I'm supposed to be doing it. I just don't know how. I don't know at that time. And then I started just creating habits of myself to be in front of that camera, do the things, training is way the anytime I didn't know something, I got into a class. Like as actors, I think a lot of times we have this innate thing is people be like, I have God-given talent, but God-given talent isn't enough. Like it's good for a moment, but if you want to be great, you have to cultivate talent. You have to take your talent and you have to take it through the mill. You have to work your talent. And sometimes that's not just about shooting a whole bunch of movies. Sometimes it's getting into a classroom. Sometimes it's about reading a book, reading plays, listening to audiobooks or listening to different things. You should always consistently be learning as a student, right? This art form has been around for hundreds of years, and the people that's doing it at the top tier are still learning. They're still in class. They still have coaches. They're consistently growing within the craft. They're never stopped. You know what I mean? So I think what allows myself and the people that I look up to consistently keep growing and stay humble is that we always remain a student.
And you know what? I'm actually glad you said that because, like I said, some of the stuff you're saying, I've been down that road where you want to quit. It don't look like it's going. You ask that question, what's next? So I can relate on all that. And then I can relate, and I'll be explaining to people that you got to learn your craft and consistently just build to it, add to it, learn it. And people don't realize that even though you become a famous entertainer, rapper, singer, artist, whatever title, you still have things to do to condition yourself, whether you go to speech lessons, whether you go to acting class, whether you get in front of the mirror and go me, 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 me. It's still conditioning, even like a football player. You got to get up every day and train. You got to practice. People don't realize that. They think once you make it, it's just, no, that's make believe. That's not true. That hard work's still there. That's why I'm glad you actually said that about having God given talent as well as putting in the work and honing in your craft. A lot of people don't know that or just don't want to do that. They think it's just simple. And then some people do get it like that. They get a simple, quick play and then that's it. But that's them. One of the questions I gotta ask on you for you is, tell me about Willie Johnson. Tell me about your mentor. How did y'all meet and okay, actually it's 3-part question. Three.
Okay.
Part one is how did y'all meet? What nuggets did he give you, and where is he at this present moment in your life?
Awesome. Great question. So the funny thing is, when I first got into modeling, I was in Georgia, of course, because I'm sorry. I went to undergraduate at Georgia Southern University. It's in Georgia. So I would come back and forth between Georgia and Dallas on my breaks and stuff. So I'm fresh into it. I'm 18 years old. He actually messaged me on Facebook, and I kind of dub it because I'm like, I don't know who this person is. He reaching out, this and the third. I wasn't familiar with him. So 3 years later, I'm up for Crave Cover Search magazine competition. So Crave is a magazine that's based out of Dallas. Shout out to Will. And I end up making the top 3. So the top 3, they get flown out to Dallas. At that time, I was back home for the summer, and it's a competition. It's a photo shoot, and then the winner gets the Crave cover issue, and then win the whole competition. So in the top 3, it was me. It was a guy by the name of Brian. I think he's actually he was a singer, and I think he models and acts as well. I think he's still active. And then Keith Carlos. So Keith Carlos, we actually frat brothers, and the owner of the magazine is also a frat brother of ours. He ended up winning America's Next Top Model. He was the first male winner of America's Next Top Model. So by the time we did the cover search, I'm 2 years in the modeling. He's 2 weeks in the modeling. So with everything that went along, Willie ended up being there as a stylist assistant for the shoot. And I finally got to meet him. And then he was like, hey, I seen your work. I like your work. I would love to help and this and the third. And so then that's when I kind of got under his wing. And he just led me in the direction. So early on in my career, I was still trying to find what type of model I wanted to be. I did all type of modeling. I did implied, I done fashion, I did editorial, all of those things at that time. But me not understanding at the time, I was so gun ho, wanted to be on runway. Man, I'm 5'9". Most of those guys are 6'2". Sometimes they're a little bit taller. So minimum
Mhm.
6'1" up to 6'3", 6'4". It just depends on what the designer is looking for. A lot of 5'9" guys is not running the runway. You know what I mean? So I kind of he kind of was a mentor in the sense of he knew what I wanted to do, but he kept putting it in my ear to get into commercial broadcast. Now, commercial
Okay.
broadcast is commercials and being in front of the camera and all those different things. So he just pretty much guided me all the way. We did like 2 or 3 years. I was just trying to model and stuff, and then he was just like, "Man, you probably want to get into commercial broadcast." And so when he's guiding me in that area, I just looked up commercial broadcast, and so I saw KD Studio. They had a night course, and I took their night course for introductory to commercials. Then I took their night course for introductory to acting, and then from there, that's when I got into acting. So he's kind of been the catalyst of me going from being introduced to modeling, then introducing me into commercial broadcast, and making that transition into be an actor, a
Okay.
working actor. He actually helped me book my first commercial ever. This was back in 20, I want to say 2013, 2014. I did a commercial for Omni American Bank. It's an old bank. I don't think they're around anymore, but I did a commercial for them, and it aired on all the AMC's in Fort Worth
Okay.
area, and that's where it all began. And so now he's still a big figure. I still go to him for advice on sometimes, but he has his own agency now. Well, his management firm. He has quite a bit of talent that he works with, and we just communicate from time to time. But I know, and I really big him up on a lot of my interviews because he is the reason why well, God is, don't get me wrong, in my hard work, but he definitely played an integral part of me making that shift from focusing solely on modeling to going into acting and making acting my everything.
Okay. That's what's up. So you pretty much you're still in contact with him today and everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's still one of my managers. He's definitely
Okay.
still one of my managers. A lot of times with me, you know what I mean. I communicate a lot of times, but a lot of times I'm just on the go because I know what I want to do. I know what I'm focused on. I know what I'm trying to do. I am signed to a few agencies, so
Okay.
whatever they bring in as far as auditions, I'm knocking them auditions out, and then I'm just consistently working on my craft. I'm just in a constant state of I'm really in a constant state of creativity and thinking outside the box, and just being consistent and showing up when my name is called. So I know he's working. He has a ton of people that's on his list. So when we get to communicate, we make sure that we chop in and lock in and see how everything's going. And when anytime he bring in an opportunity, we knock that out as much as possible. But he's more of a friend, mentor, at these points. He's still definitely part of my management company, but he's definitely a friend for sure.
That's what's up. That's a good thing. See, what people don't realize is you got to have the right team and support
Absolutely.
because that'll definitely get you further than your homeboy, your homegirls being the yes man type thing.
Absolutely, man. Your team, I mean, it's cool to have friends that are a part of your team, but if they not dedicated to the vision, if they not sold all the way onto the vision, sometimes you just got to keep family, and friends. You know what I'm saying? Because when there's a bigger thing that you're trying to reach, you got to get people that specialize in what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When it comes to taking advice, it's a bunch of actors out here that's giving advice. A lot of these actors are not signed, and that's okay. A lot of them are not booking the jobs that people want to be booking, and that's okay too. And I'm not saying that the advice is bad, but case in point, I can't tell somebody how to book commercial work if I've never booked commercial work. It's kind of hard to do that. Now
Right.
I personally can because I've booked maybe over 40 commercials, but everybody's not doing that, right? So there's things that, and there's a reason why now that I don't really coach only because I'm still trying to get. I want more under my belt before I start coaching and trying to lead other people to do that. You know what I mean? Some people they'll just do whatever, make acting classes that don't have the background for it. So I'm always a stickler on do your research on the people that's giving advice. Always do your research on the people that's giving advice. Google is free, right? If you Google my name, my accolades comes up, my background comes up, my social, not just social media, because a lot of people have their social media. My movies pop up, my IMDb pops up, everything about me pops up to show you the authenticity of what I'm bringing, right? And that's important because I go to instructors that are consistently working, right? If I do a class, I'm going to cast directors class. If I do a workshop, I'm going to workshops that actors are consistently working, and so on and so forth, because I want to get the advice from the people that's being successful within the craft, right? I don't personally doing Tubi movies, doing independent films on a low scale. There's nothing wrong with that, but I, I'm chasing something bigger. I'm chasing something more concrete. It's cool, and there's definitely a lot of money in it if you do it correctly. But I know the work that I want to put out. Right? It's not with me. It's not about numbers as far as how many movies am I putting out. For me, it's about how much quality am I putting out. Even if I do one movie in a year, I want that one movie to surpass anything that I've ever done. That's the goal in my mind. My goals are surpass that, more bigger level. I am a SAG after member, so doing more SAG after work, right? Even if it's just one role, I'll work my butt off for that one role. Let's say the series called Landman. Landman is a series Taylor Sheridan created. It's only season 2. I've auditioned 5 times for that show, and I'm gonna just keep showing up as the casting director requests me. A lot of times you're not gonna book. A lot of times it's a lot of no's, right? But you have to have that fortitude and that determination to push past those and keep showing up when your name is called. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But what's the bigger goal? I could get. It's not hard to get on a movie. I'm gonna just be honest. It's not hard to get on a movie, but it's about what it is that you want to succeed in, right? But I'm never gonna say that there's a wrong way to do it. What I will say is the wrongest way to do it is showing up not prepared for the moment. Just thinking that you just show up and people gonna put you in a speaking role just because you showed up, that it don't work that it does not work that way. And a lot of times people think it works that way. And you try to tell them and they'll say, well, God knows best. I'm never gonna deny that. But what I am gonna say is God will never put you in a position that you're not ready for.
Very true. Very
Will,
true.
and that's good and that's bad, right? Meaning if he knows you're not ready for this thing, that means you can't handle the bandwidth of what comes with it. And that's good and that's bad. It's on the same thing, right? So I'm big stickler on be prepared for your moments, right? If I do an audition, case in point, I have a commercial that's airing right now for Dave and Buster's. And I just auditioned. I did everything that I was supposed to do, and I fit the criteria of what they're looking for, right? But you don't do your commercial auditions the same way that you would do your theatrical auditions, right? Everybody don't know that. Everybody don't know that. But it would seem simple as it is, but everybody don't know that. Sometimes it's just about this is what they're looking for, do exactly what they ask, and submit it. Sometimes it's they don't know what they're looking for, so show them something different. Show them show them your interpretation of the character, and then they can direct you on what it is that they're looking for, right? But you have to prepare for those. You won't know those different things, or you wouldn't know those different notes or cues if you didn't go to class for it, if you didn't do no research on it, right? Google is free. It's so much information out there to use to develop. You got to utilize it.
Facts, 100%. I'm actually glad you threw that nugget out there because a lot of people do not know that when you do go for an audition, it's different. And then sometimes you can freestyle and just do you, and sometimes you got to do you, but the way they visualize it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. A lot of times
Um,
are freaked out, but you know that can only last for so long at a certain level. If you try and go to another level, then everything you do has to go to another level. You can't think that you can go to a new height and still create the same or still audition the same. No, everything has to increase as you consistently increase.
Facts. That movie you were just talking about, Land.
Landman, it's actually a series.
Yeah, they're shooting season 2 up here right now. I done
They're
seen
shooting season two in around the Fort Worth area.
I done seen the trucks and cars with everything hooked to with the camera and stuff, and I'm
Mhm.
like, damn,
They have
okay, that's what's up.
cameras. They got everything, man. They've been shooting. They're shooting that. They were shooting Lioness last year. They've been shooting a whole bunch of stuff, man. Honestly, shout out to Taylor Sheridan, and we just passed the bill for 1.5 billion. I think it was 1.5 or 1.15 billion for tax incentives and to just really bring studio work here to Texas
Mm-hmm.
so that we can get more opportunities for behind the camera with gaffers and all the other people that work on the set as well as talent that's in front of the set. And
Fact, 100%. You're 100% right on that. Um, how did you end up in the Voyage, Houston?
Voyage Houston, man, hustling. So I used to, I would, I mean, I'm on that road, bro. I'm not gonna be honest. 2023, I was going back and forth between Dallas and Houston, filming a lot. So I was filming with a director by the name of Elmore Vision. We did a few projects together. Actually, we did about 5 or 6 projects together. So I was always on that road, and Voyage, they reached out and I ended up, doing a whole nine the same way with Voyage, Dallas, and a few other things. So just submitting to it, putting my information, giving them my information, and just going from there. It was actually pretty dope. And we got a few write-ups. We actually got a few write-ups, and the write-ups are dope. So when anybody can get the opportunity to do those write-ups and get those write-ups, that's awesome.
That's what's up. Um, do you consider yourself just a regular actor or a method actor? Because it is a difference. It's a
Nah,
big,
for
big
sure it
difference.
is. It's so many different tools as far as like styles when it comes to that because you got method acting, you got Stanislavski, you got so many different methods that you can use. Um, I'm I utilize what's necessary for the moment. So sometimes if it require, I don't really do a lot of method acting because I don't really dive into those parts, right? Some people go dark places. A lot of actors go to dark places just to
Mm-hmm.
bring those things out. I don't feel like I have to do those things. I think I learn a lot from just reading and asking questions. So a lot of the times I'm I do what seems common sense to what's going on in the scenario, and then I play off what the director is looking for, right? It's a team effort. So asking questions is a big part of it. Reading your script top to bottom and understanding what's going on within the world is very important. And then utilizing the tools that you learn. Sometimes you can use substitution. I don't really use it as much as anymore, but when I was learning these tools, I could lean on when it came to creating these characters or creating these people that's in these world. But now a lot of it is playing off of the director, going off what feels real within the scenario of the scene, and just going from there. So I would just say I'm all of the above, bro. Like I think there's times where you need method, there's times where you need these different methods, and then there's times where sometimes it just be as authentic as possible and create the character that you're trying to create, right? So like let's say when I play antagonist different, right? I don't play if anyone will be familiar with any of my work, I wouldn't play Jason Perkins the same as I play Dumani. So Jason Perkins is one of the sons that's on the movie Perk 30. It's a crime syndicate family. He's one of the eldest sons, and he a boss. I'm gonna just be honest. He really is a boss. But him and his dad don't see eye to eye, and he don't really get along with his siblings either because he really is a boss and he moves to the beat of his own drum, which you would think that his dad would love, but his dad don't like the way my dad don't like the way I do things as Jason Perkins. When it comes to Dumani, yeah, he a thug, but you can tell it's a front and it's not authentic. And he's like playing up to the scenario of, man, this dude been in jail all this time. Nah, this my block now. This my stuff now. This my girl now, right? I didn't play them the same, right? But they're both antagonists, and they're both, dealing with drugs, dealing with all of those different things. But I didn't read them the same. I didn't see them the same. I feel like they're two different, completely people that were created differently, and a lot of that just came from playing with asking questions to the director, asking questions to the writer. Same way here, asking just so the director happened to be the writer as well. So asking questions, what's going on in the scenario, so that we can create these performances.
Okay, I can dig that. That makes completely actually that makes perfect sense. Give me 3 of your favorite movies you got to watch every year or umpteen amount of time a year.
3 of my favorite movies that I have to watch.
Tree.
It's so funny. I definitely wish I could watch more TV, more movies. I can give you 3 of my favorite movies. Lion King, animated series, that's gonna at least get watched.
Okay.
One of my personal like movies that I like, Stomp the Yard. Stomp the Yard is definitely, I rock with Columbus Short. That was Columbus Short, like breakout role. What's another movie that I watch a lot?
Can't be too much for you thinking too hard.
Nah, cause I mean I haven't. I'm telling you, bro. I watch TV and all that other stuff, but I don't really watch it too much. I would say the last movie that I really rock with is Medea's Family Reunion.
Okay.
And the reason that I liked it, it was like one of those ones where I'm a big Blair Underwood fan. Like Blair Underwood, he's timeless. He's a timeless actor. That's the type of actor that I definitely want to be. I want to be a timeless actor. Like years could go by, but when you see Blair Underwood on the screen, every woman, every person, oh yeah, that's Blair. That's Blair Underwood.
Right. Fact.
So Blair, I'm a big Blair Underwood guy. And I'm also a Sterling K. Brown guy. I'm a big Sterling K. Brown actor fan. Yeah, them two there. Mahershala Ali as well. Them some of my favorite actors.
Okay. What was I know this answer. I want to see if you get this answer. What was Blair Underwood's very first motion picture on the big screen? Let's see if you can do this one.
That's crazy. I don't know this one.
Seriously. It was a presentable movie, but it became more of a cult classic over time.
Man, was it a movie with what's that boy name? What's that boy name?
I know you're not gonna get it. And when I tell you what it is, you're like, wow. Because at that time, the role he played was somebody we didn't know would become very important in history and become bigger than life at that time. We just seen the movie. Wasn't even really paying attention to him, was everybody else. All the supporting cast in the whole movie.
No, what's the name?
Come on now.
Lorenz Tate in the movie. Is Lorenz Tate in the movie?
No, hell nah.
He's not in the movie. I thought they did a movie together.
Lorenz Tate was probably a kid. He was a kid at this point.
Nah, never mind. I ain't gonna get it.
Crush Groove.
Oh yeah, I definitely wasn't gonna get that one.
That was his first major motion picture, playing Russell Simmons in Crush Groove. Like I said, he had the Fat Boys, Run DMC, LL, Jeff.
Okay, LL. Of course, all the other people was playing themselves in it, but damn, he played Russell Simmons. He looked not like Russell Simmons.
But he didn't. But Russell Simmons didn't want to play himself. But if you watch the movie, Russell got a couple of cameos But he played Russell Simmons. We didn't think nothing of it. Years later, Russell is the biggest thing, Blair Underwood big, and we like, now you want to go back and rewatch it, like,
That
oh,
is
he was
so
playing
crazy.
him.
That is so crazy. Now I knew I wasn't gonna get that then.
Crazy. Yeah. That's
That
that trivia, boy.
so
That
crazy.
is that trivia.
Crush Groove. Okay.
Yeah, definitely check that out, man. That's hip hop royalty right there.
Nah, absolutely.
Um,
Now I've heard of Crush Groove. I just didn't know he was in.
you ain't never seen Crush Groove, man?
I probably seen it when I was so young. When I mean, you know that the movie older than me for sure.
Fact.
That easily
Watch it
came
again, man. You're a
out.
Blair Underwood fan. You Blair Underwood, watch it. You gonna be like, oh, matter of fact, prime example too. Blair Underwood's first music video was Full Force, Temporary Love Thing.
Oh man, you put me on game.
Hey man, I like music and history.
Hey, Wesley
Um,
Snipes was in Michael Jackson music video.
Say that again.
I said Wesley Snipes was in Michael Jackson music video.
Wesley was in a lot of things quiet, and then once he did Nino,
It was a rap.
that was
But that's how
rap.
it be, man. It just take one yes, bro, to change everything. And I think people sometimes a lot of people quit before they see it happen
Mm-hmm.
because they was waiting on that yes, man, and they just it could get restless at times because it's not gonna happen the same way that it happened for other people. But that's why it's important to be so grounded in what God has for you and having that relationship with God because
Mm-hmm.
He knows best and He'll let it be known when it's time. You know what I'm saying? Until then, you just keep working, keep grounding that pavement, keep showing up when your name is called. Meaning, when these auditions come in, don't decline them, get them in. Get in good with these casting directors. Get in good with all of these other people, man, because it means something. It absolutely
Right.
means something. And then when your name is called, you have this rapport. You've been putting in all this work. All it takes is one yes, turn you up.
Facts. Let's dig into the portfolio.
For
Let's
sure.
talk about the Fatal Attraction because I've actually that's one of my favorite series because it's actually not just knowledgeable, it's interesting and it's facts. How did that come about?
What's so crazy? So I submitted myself. They usually, if you're an actor or interested in acting, always have an Actors Access account and have a Casting Networks account. So Casting Networks
Okay.
is bigger on the commercial side. Acting Networks has commercials, but they do a lot of theatrical work. So I submitted myself for it. I actually submitted my picture. They wanted to make sure that I looked alike, and they offered me the role. And what's so crazy, it filmed in Knoxville. So I couldn't get a ticket at that time, so I drove from Dallas to Knoxville. It was about a 13-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Got there next day, we filmed everything. And what's so funny was a lady on there that ended up being on there. She was actually from Dallas, so she flew out there, and we filmed. And as soon as I got done filming, I drove back to Dallas. Um, but it was fun. It was a very fun experience. A lot of the script, it wasn't really too scripty. It was just about moments because it's the documentary style. So there's different moments where my character will pop up and we had that conversation. Different moments where different scenarios happen, and so they had like a nice little skeleton script that we worked off of, and they let us play with it a little bit. But it was absolutely pretty fun. I enjoyed my time there. I enjoyed being in Knoxville for the shoot. And yeah, that's how it came about. I submitted myself and they ended up selecting me.
So how did you react or how did your family react when it actually aired and you seen yourself doing the finished product in so many words?
Man, it was cool because it was really one of my first time being on network, right? A lot of times documentary styles, people get to booking and all those things, but seeing myself on the screen, man, it was just another reaffirm affirmation of I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, bro. You know what I mean? There's different moments in time within my career where I realize I'm doing my purpose. I'm working my purpose. It doesn't look like everybody else's. It looks like how it's supposed to look for me. And so seeing me on there, seeing it being streamed, seeing people gravitate toward it, seeing people post about it and like it, And man, it meant the world to me, man.
That's what's up. Price of Fame, Different Strokes. How did that come about? And break that down to everybody
Okay.
that's listening and watching.
Yeah, that was so long ago. Price of Fame, Different Strokes. So Price of Fame, um, AMC had a contract type deal with the people that had the contract with AMC. They had a contract that was filming out of AMS. It's a studio up in Addison. Um, we would film all of those different things. So at that time, man, they was only paying us so much at that time, but we was getting those opportunities to be on screen. So I ended up playing the police officer that had to go and check on I can't remember the guy from Different Strokes, but he was having trouble. So we at that time was filming something that took place within his life, and he was going. It was like the backstory of the guy that was from a Different Strokes, not Gary Coleman, the other guy. I can't think of his name.
Ty Bridges.
Ty Bridges. There you go. So it was pretty much the backstory on Ty Bridges. I was one of the officers that was like arrested in the scenario, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I did Different Strokes, and I did another one as well. I can't remember. I played like a college kid for one of the Reapers. It was not Price of Fame, but it was one of the other shows that they did at that time, and it was cool, man. It was an opportunity, consistently being on set, man, being on set, learning, and just growing in my craft. We shot that was probably around 2017. No, 2018. 2018 when all that stuff went down.
Okay. What about Unbreakable Boy? Let's talk about that.
Ah, that one hit a little bit different. This was my first guest star feature on the SAG after project. I wasn't SAG at the time. We filmed this during COVID. So everything shut down. I just signed with my agency that I'm still with at that time. And we started auditioning for a lot of stuff, but we wasn't booking anything. So closer toward the end of the year, I ended up booking a commercial with Tractor was it Tractor Supply Company? I ended up booking a commercial with them, and then I had did an audition for a TV film. For a film. I didn't think nothing of it. Knocked out the audition, sent it, and I really forgot about it. Closer toward the time, my agent reached back out, and she said, "Hey, you actually booked this." I said, "What? I booked what?" And she told me, "You booked this film." Da da da. I didn't think nothing of it. Then I ended up getting an email, and it was from Lionsgate, and Lionsgate
Okay.
saying, "Hey, we have this Zoom call that you have to get on." And at that time, everything was COVID protocol, so I had to drive up to Oklahoma City where it was filming 3 days before my film shoot. So I'm up there 3 days quarantine, and then I'm doing a test every day, and then I had to get called, and then that's when I was able to do it. So in 2020, we thought it was gonna be coming out in 2021. So the production company that made this movie, they are the same production company that made American Underdog, the Drew what not Drew Bledsoe, uh um dang, what's that man name? Quarterback. He played for the St. Louis Rams, and then he ended up playing for the Arizona Cardinals. I can't Kurt Warner. The Kurt Warner story.
Okay.
So yeah. So the lead actor on the Kurt Warner story, he was also the lead actor in Unbreakable Boy. So we filmed it, did everything. I ain't heard nothing back about it since, because they had a date where it's supposed to come out. They pushed the date back. Then they showed up another date in 2022, and then they pushed the date back. And then I ain't hear nothing else about it. And then I started seeing promo for it for this year. Coming really last year going into this year, that it was coming out in February.
Okay.
So I didn't think nothing of it. I ain't really promoted because I figured they cut my scene. They already cut one of my scenes, and the scene that we shot, I didn't know if they needed it in there. I didn't think nothing of it. And lo and behold, they ended up keeping my scene in the
Okay.
movie. And what's so funny, I was in the store and I had a Facebook confirmation or a Facebook notice. And I looked and I got tagged, and one of my classmates said, "Why am I in this movie?" And Tyrone Betters on my screen. Man, I'm at the store. I'm smiling so big. I went outside. I screamed, bro, because I mean, being on a big screen, being in a Lionsgate film, it hit. It showed me that I can do this, man, and I can do this at a high level, and I'm really good at what I do. Like I know I have everything it takes to be successful in this, even though I don't know. I have sometimes I have this thing about where it's like, yeah, I booked jobs. I've been successful over this time, and success is what people make of it. I've done more than
Right.
others, but I haven't done the things that I know that I want to do. You know what I mean? So I kind of just hold myself to a little higher standard always, right? And I know what I'm chasing, I know what I'm after, and I know what I want to excel within this craft. And so seeing Unbreakable Boy in the movie theater, bought my ticket, went to the movie theaters, looking on there, seeing myself on the screen, and then seeing my name in the credits, it just again it reaffirmed myself to myself. And I still have days where it's like I could do more, or I'm ready for this, and I'm auditioning. Why am I not booking? And you'll start questioning yourself, but a lot of times there's nothing to question. It's not your time. Sometimes it's
Right.
not your time. But when it is your time, and before it is your time, what are you doing to prepare to be ready for your moment? And if you're
Right.
not preparing, if you're not auditioning, if you're not reading, if you're not supporting other people, if you're not doing anything, then you're not preparing yourself for the moment that you keep praying to God for.
You
So
know
that's
what? I'm glad you said that, man. Because my manager said the same thing. So I ask those questions at times. She's like, "It's not your time. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep building. It's coming." And I'm
yeah.
glad you said that, man. I'm
And,
very
and
glad
you
you said
gotta
that.
and you gotta firmly believe it, man. For real, God has a plan for all of us, and my pace is not gonna be the same pace as somebody else, right? I
Mhm.
would love to do a lot of these movies out here, but I can't. I'm SAG now, so unless your project is SAG and you want me in it, there's nothing else I could do. I don't mind auditioning for stuff because I audition all day, every day. You know what I mean? It's just it's just layers on layers on layers, man.
So explain when you say you're SAG, meaning you're only allowed to be in a certain type or certain film.
So SAG after is the Actors Guild, or the union for actors. And being in SAG after, you can only do SAG after projects when it comes to theatrical different things. And it's just for protections, bro. It really is, and it's a lot of those SAG after sets. It's a bigger pay raise. It's a bigger everything. Everything changes. Everything changes. On the independent circuit, the things that I've dealt with is I'll have my rate. Somebody doesn't want to pay their rate, so I want to do the project. So I was like, all right, let's see if we can work this out and negotiate from there. But I got tired of negotiating, bro. Like my price is my price, and
Right.
you want me for a reason. Anytime somebody says, "Oh yeah, we went with another actor," cool. That's the actor that you want work. That's the actor that you wanted on your set, or that could fit your budget. Me,
Right.
I know what I bring to the table. I promote all my movies. I work as hard as possible to make sure that I'm doing my part. I show up professional. I'm always prepared for the moments. I'm always ingested with what is needed for the character or what is needed for certain things, and I just leave everything. I leave everything on the floor when it comes to being an actor and creating. Yeah, I'm gonna choose me every time, and and that's why I ended up joining the Screen Actors Guild. I wasn't a must join, but um, I was what they call it, eligible. I was
Okay.
eligible to join, so I just went ahead and made the sacrifice to join, and did what I thought was in the best interest of me. And there's some times where I want to say yes to stuff. All the time I get FOMO not being a part of stuff, but I think the biggest thing for me is I want to be part of the right stuff and the people that want me completely, right? They want the best version of me. It's hard to
That's
get it's hard to get the best version of somebody if they have to sacrifice consistently. It
fact, hundred
really is.
percent.
We still
I
show up
definitely
as
respect that.
professional because that's what we do. When I sign my name on the dotted line, I'm gonna show up as a professional. But I'm expecting that same thing, and a lot of times on these sets, it's not professional. It is what it is, though. We ain't gonna down them, but I mean, you when you try to carry yourself a certain way and you talk a certain way, then I need you to move that same way. And when it doesn't add up, then I have questions.
Right. Let's talk about Murder Made Me Famous, the Gainesville Reaper.
Okay, that's the one that I was talking about. So Murder Made Me Famous, Gainesville Reaper. Um, Same thing that was with AMS. The AMS, they gave us a lot of opportunities within that span of 2018, 2019, and we was able to take advantage of a lot of those different things. They brought a lot of episodes out here. They utilized a lot of things that we was able um to put on our resumes, man, and just continuously grow. And that's what it was, bro. It was a great opportunity for what we was able to do.
Um, how did you get prepared for your role for True Christmas?
Aha, that's crazy. So, True Christmas, shout out to JF Bailey. He reached out, wanted me to play this role. A lot of it just dealt with what was going on in the script, man. So there was a few scenes that we shot out of order. We shot one scene before we shot the other scene. Um, it was dope. I really I just really read what was going on in the pages and understanding and asking questions to the directors or what we was looking for. Again, as I say, it's a teamwork thing, right?
Mhm.
They're looking for me to create it. We'll try it a certain way. They were like, hey, think about this. Or when I say different things or I ask about, hey, what about this? Or we think about this, or this is what's going on in my mind of how we are moving forward into what we're going on within the scene. I ask those questions till then I'm like, all right, note that, take that. All right, they like this, take that out. And then we go back into the scene. Cause we probably have filmed the scene so many different times in so many different ways. So there's different angles that you can hit. There's different ways that you can um just hit that performance. You know what I mean? Cause you want it to be authentic, but you also want to be on point so that you're not just sitting there filming and shooting the scene over and over again because you don't know your lines because
Right.
everything messed up. You never want it to be because you're not prepared to be ready to film and do the things you need to do to get the job done.
Right. The reason I asked about that because I know when it comes to certain movies, you have to be a certain way. Like something that got to do with Christmas is very important because
Mm-hmm.
um, of course, you got to watch the language. You got to have your body movement right. It can be about a little bit of love. It can be maybe a heartfelt story or however they want to put it. But the fact that it's Christmas is it has to be fully on point mentally, physically, everything. That's why I
Absolutely. And
asked
so
about that.
even then, my and understanding the importance of my character is it might be the shift for a breakthrough, not the initial breakthrough, but the initial this is the issue, and now it's time to move forward for the lead or the protagonist to
Mhm.
go under the change to the dynamic of why they shouldn't be the way that they are or move the way that they are doing. Right? If you think of Ebenezer Scrooge or A Christmas Carol,
Mhm.
there was a moment until it high pointed and you just see how disrespectful he was, and then the ghost come because you're such a Scrooge, you're such a guy. There is a breaking point within the movie where it's like, no, what's going to happen now? And then it goes in to the ghost, this,
Mhm.
and so now you start tearing away on that leads um that side to get that change of heart.
Mhm. How did you get prepared for No Better Love?
Hi, No Better Love. What's so crazy about No Better Love? I actually auditioned for a teacher role that was, and this is where I talk about being prepared for the moment because a teacher is not going to be the same as another student and so on and so forth. So I actually read for two roles, and they ended up selecting me for Dumani. Well, Dumani is one of the main antagonists in the film when it comes to a relationship dynamic that's going on within the film. Um, I prepared. I really wanted to work with Arthur Muhammad. He's one of the dopest directors that's here in our city, and he got a film that's coming out, Bid for Love 2, that's coming out soon. But I got to work with him, and a lot of the creativity of just reading what was going on in the script and understanding who Dumani was and how I wanted to bring him to light was playing off of him, asking questions, and then also just bringing my own flair to it. I knew I wanted I wanted Dumani to be like a gutter street guy from Oak Cliff type, like Side Dallas type, like you know what I mean, like just bring something different in the dynamic. And so I kind of played them like that, but I also understood how in the how it was written that because the person that he was antagonist with really was the guy that was running everything. When he went to jail, I took over, and so it's kind of that machismo way of I got this now, but I'm threatened by you because I know that at one point in time you could say I was a runner, or you could say that I wasn't the guy in charge. You know what I mean? So that power dynamic, when you get that power, that's when you get that false bravado. And so that's how I wanted to play Dumani. So what's so funny that they ended up choosing that film and did a scene and showed it on Hollywood Unlocked back then when it first dropped. It was crazy. It was crazy. People really liked it. And it was on Hollywood Unlocked for a long time promoting. So No Better Love, man. Y'all go watch that. Y'all go stream that now.
So you done Chase Bank commercials. You've done Swift Meats, A&H baby detergent. I mean, you've gone through the stacks. You're definitely doing a variety of things. Definitely.
Absolutely. I like to be a rounded talent, man. Like I love commercials. Commercials, they pay a little bit more, and it's the quickest way to be seen, man, especially on that TV screen. And so I enjoy it. It's another avenue of my acting, of being in front of that camera. And then I also love my theatrical stuff when I'm able to do that. And then it's crazy when I have two commercials running, and then I have my movies that you can go stream. Or if let's say you on Tubi watching a movie, and then right around one of my commercials pop up, that's happened a lot as well. So a lot of people have just been able to be consistently seeing me in some form or fashion.
Have you run into a situation where you're at the store out getting a sandwich? Somebody be like, "Is that Tyrone Betters? Hey, that's dude from on the Whoop the Whoop."
One time, I don't know what happened. You know what's so crazy? So my daughter's daycare, it was a teacher there, and she recognized me from one of the films that was streaming on Tubi. So she was one of my daughter's teachers on daycare, and she recognized me. I think that was so dope. I thought it was so dope because you just never know, man. Like the way Tubi works, man. You never know who's watching. You never know, and then it's everywhere. It could be everywhere, right? So I can say a lot of my peers that have seen me on TV, a lot of my commercials, a few of them that be out in Atlanta say, "Hey, bro, I just seen your commercial like 10 times." A friend of mine in Atlanta, in LA, said, "Man, they just played your commercial like 4 times on BET out here." So it's always been a mixture of stuff, man. But it's always dope anytime I recognize, bro. Like I really truly am grateful for the opportunities, you know what I'm saying, to make an impact. I feel like my brand is always about humility. I don't really live like a lifestyle that shows, like that. I just think I'm big shit, as they say, man. I think I just show the meekness and how much I love the craft of acting and just consistently growing, man. I want people to go to my work and be like, "Man, I seen you in this and I seen you in this," but they're two totally different characters. Or they're I could never see. I didn't know you could even act like this, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So that's where the love and the passion and when people show support of that is very much appreciated. I don't take it for granted ever.
As you should, man. That's definitely one thing. Like I said, we was talking before we got started. That's one thing I definitely appreciate about you is that you are humble and you recognize what it is. Where a lot of people, again, they looking at quality. I mean, not quality. They looking at quantity. And they're like, oh, "I did 30 movies. Give me nothing but green M&Ms," or I've done 30 movies. I expect this amount, and not realizing you still down here, but your mind is shot up there.
Absolutely. And I'll never say that anybody shouldn't, feel a way about their brand or what they bring to the table. I think it's a lane for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like me, the amount of movies that you've done really don't, it's never really mattered to me. You know what I mean? I almost got caught up in that, and I got caught up in a lot of people don't realize, like, a person that made that real popular was Kevin Hart. When Kevin Hart was first coming out and he started popping, he's like, yeah, I got this project coming, I got this project coming, I got this and third. But Kevin Hart was doing that on a whole nother type of stratosphere level. You know what I mean? And so he kind of made that popular, which is okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to run off your stats and do all those different things like that. But I think a lot of it in dealing with people one on one, they know authenticity, right? It's easy to say that you humble, you meek, or you rock with the people when it comes to social media and doing those different things. But in interactions with people, you, one thing you can't do is lie about how you made somebody feel.
Facts. Let the world know how they can find you, if they want to contact you, if they just want to start following you. Put your social media out there.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, it's been wonderful talking with y'all. If you were looking to follow me, IG is at Tyrone Betters. My YouTube actually has clips from a lot of my stuff. You can go to Tyrone Betters Official. Facebook is Tyrone Betters Official. Um, yeah, I got so much more stuff that's in store. We have a series that's getting ready to come out called Love and Larceny. Shout out to Footage Films and Trey Cheney Vision. That's one of my mentors. Trey Cheney, he plays Pooh on The Wire.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really a big mentor of mine. We have a film called Harry Hines. Shout out to Q and Coda, Kirshawn, CJ. We got that getting ready to be in the works. That'll be coming out real soon. What's else? Those are the ones I'm gonna say for right now. You can always go to Google, type in Tyrone Betters, everything will pop up. You'll love it. You'll be able to see me in a whole bunch of good things, man. I'm for real, for real. So follow me at Tyrone Betters on IG. I'm on there frequently. And you'll be able to find everything when it comes to write-ups, when it comes to more interviews, where this interview will be. You'll be able to find all of those different things.
I definitely appreciate that, man. Once you start getting these new projects you just talked about off, I would definitely love to have you back, man. You know you're welcome back anytime you want to,
Oh, absolutely.
join a
And we
segment
gonna
or
and then
promote
I'm gonna tell
something.
you in. I mean, there's plenty of other actors that's out here that's doing it at a high frequency. I'll make
Okay.
sure I spread the word and tap you in with them.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. Blessings for real. Because a lot of people don't believe in scratch my back, I scratch yours. Nowadays, it's like,
Oh,
okay, I'm going to plug you in, but I need 500. I
nah,
need
nah.
200.
And I'm all about, man. One thing about me is I share opportunities. Sometimes the opportunity might not be for me, but because I see it, I want to make sure that the people that's supposed to see it and the opportunity supposed to be for, it goes to them. I've helped. I'm not gonna say helped. I've gave recommendation for other actors to get signed to my agency, and my agency ended up picking them up. And seeing other people be successful allows me to see that I also can still be successful. So giving a hand, giving a shout out, sharing something, you know what I mean? All of those come into play, and I'm very big on it. I'm very, very big on it.
What's the name of the agency?
I'm with the Bennett Connection. They're out of Austin, Texas. So Bennett Connection is that's my main agent that I write with. One of my other agencies is Tab Agency out of Oklahoma. I'm with Encore Talent in Chicago, and I'm with oh my goodness, uh NT in ooh NTS in LA, and then I'm with Slam Talent in Atlanta.
Okay. That's what's up. And I got to salute you, bro. You are working and you got everything. You on all cylinders right now.
We on all
Definitely.
cylinders, man. Man, I'm ready to go. As soon as somebody say yes, I got everything in motion. I'm Nothing's really holding me back. Of course, I still have my family, my daughter. That's my pride and joy. That's my main priority for real. And outside of that is just, just doing what I feel like I'm being led to do, man. I think that's the important thing is when you find your purpose, fall all the way into it. You know what I'm saying? Don't run from it.
Facts. Facts. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Tyrone Betters here, and he's just sat here and not only did he drop gems and nuggets for people who want to be an actor who did not understand what it takes to be one. Check out his movies, check out his commercials, follow him on social media, and I guarantee you, you will not regret it. I thank you for coming on, man, more than you know.
Man, I appreciate you for having me. I know we've been doing the runaround a little bit, but I'm so grateful that we was able to sit and have this conversation. I love doing podcasts, bro, and just being able to be my authentic self to all platforms, man. I think a lot of times people get caught up in numbers. They get caught up in following what platform have. Nah, man, you build it from the grassroots. You build it from the ground. You build it from you build it from the ground across, and then you build it up. You know what I mean? Because these matter. Your followers matter, man. Your platform matters because this is you living your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it's a privilege and honor to be on here, man. It really is.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you taking your time. Like I said, you're welcome back anytime. Stay in contact, bro. Congratulate you on your success. And listen, I'm trying to get my popcorn. And if not, be with you in the movie. I'm a damn sure be at the premiere, sitting in the audience.
Absolutely. I'm gonna keep you posted on what we got going on. I do know it's a film premiere coming June. I'm sorry, I said January. June 19th for A Bid for Love 2. It's gonna be actually gonna be in a Red Oak at the B&B Theater.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you know what? Somebody just shared me they just shared me the link. I'm gonna shoot it over to you and see what can happen, bro. I'm in it for a split second. I ain't really gonna promote it like that because I just went to go, network and do my thing. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a nice little atmosphere for you to go and meet the cast and a lot of the people that's putting this on.
Hey man, let's go. I appreciate it, man. Get that link to me, man. Like I said, stay in contact. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna see where it go from here.
Yes, sir.
Come back anytime, my brother.
Man, thank you.
Tyrone Betters, everybody. Check him out. Man, so we had another successful episode. For those who watching it now, I appreciate it. For those who will catch it later, I appreciate it. Like I said, check out my man Tyrone Betters. He's done commercials. He's done film. He's done stage. Check him out. He got a lot to say. And of course, as always, stay in contact with me. Instagram, Facebook, Rain Rockstar. TikTok, Rain_4977. And on YouTube, Rain Spotlight 4977. But I can't leave because I got good news. We have sponsorship for the podcast. So effective immediately, we have Carolina Made Beverage as our sponsor for the podcast and for Imperial Radio, which is still in the works but coming soon. So yeah, shout out to Carolina Made Beverage. It's black owned out of Carolina. Y'all definitely check them out. You can check them out on Instagram at Carolina Made Bev. And if you're interested in purchasing, you can check them out at carolinaMadeBev.biz. And it's craft soda, real cane sugar, real fruit juices. Check them out. They're working on a sports drink to help you get dehydrated, get the minerals up in you. And I just might be on one of them sports drinks. Watch your boy. And, as always, we got the Imperial merch. You know what I'm saying? That's the key, Get you one. And we got all kind of things in the works. So shout out to IRM Films. Shout out to Doobie B. Shout out to the team. Shout out to my manager, Zip Mouth. Y'all can check her out at Zip Mouth Motivation, Zip Mouth Podcast on in YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Definitely give her a shout out, man. I want to thank everybody that definitely supported. And I know we've been kind of up and down, not staying consistent, but we can get back on that. Definitely check out Mr. Bijon Caribbean Vegan Hot Sauce. Don't let the word vegan fool you. It's definitely spicy and good. And shout out to Rock and Vodka. Man, free Big Suge. Shout out to Suge Knight and Suge Jr. We doing the ambassador in for Suge Knight clothing. And look, I gotta go. Y'all stay in contact, stay afloat, and mess with me. I am your host, Mr. What He Gonna Do Next, Rain Rockstar, Funky Flesh in the Flesh. I catch y'all in the stars. I'm gone.